We don't have to have that again, do we?
Yeah, we have to. It's automatic. See if I can cut it off. Oh, there you
Anton,
Hey,
I know you got some of your people over there that's getting on us. You see that? We talked about haters and there it was. How about that?
I ain't even see nothing. What happened?
How no? Who knows? It just dropped. It just turned off completely.
go.
Hmm,
Nothing.
that's really weird.
We ain't even said a cuss word.
I don't understand. I don't get what happened.
I don't either. I don't. We're back. We are. Hello, good people. Sorry about that. We don't know what happened. It just stopped. I don't know. But anyway, we're gonna continue on where we were going. We were talking about marriages. Hopefully, we can get everybody
Yep.
back here. Um, I don't know. That was just a strange occurrence. Thank you, Stacey. I can't explain it. Never happened to you before, Anton?
Nope, not me.
I have been on a platform one time before when something like that happened, but it was like a copyright thing. But we wouldn't show
Mm,
anything or doing anything, so I don't know.
we ain't gonna worry about it. We gonna cook no matter what.
That's exactly right. We were talking about marriage though. So I was saying to you that you do know about the vows and saying how important they are. And we were talking about how people rewrite them and how they didn't know in the beginning. So
Yep.
over here, what I'm always teaching and trying to put forth or let people know is that in order to be married, it's a mindset change. It's
Yeah.
not, you cannot bring a single brain or a single mindset into a marriage. And
I agree.
that's what I'm saying about you. At the ninth grade, you knew that you wanted to be married. I'm not saying you had that mindset yet, but when did you notice it taking a change, or you just went with it at the age of 22? What changed
Um,
between?
nothing. I mean, nothing necessarily changed. I was always the type of person that was just intentional. And once I determine that I'm gonna do something or I want something, I just go and get it. And so, it didn't matter where she was from. She actually dispelled all of the myths that came along with what they would identify as what you need to vet and all of this other type of stuff, right? She was born to a single mother and she lived in a house with her grandmother and her mother and all of these different things that people say that you need to be aware of and all of that. And I was just like, yeah, that's nice. She gonna move according to whatever it is that I do, and she gonna be on my program, and that's gonna be the end of the conversation. And that's how it's always been. You know what I'm saying? Because I've always been intentional, and I've never based how it is that I move off of any preconceived notion. I just live based off of what my father taught me, what my uncles taught me, what the church taught me, and it has always worked for every single person in my family. And so that's what it is that I rock with. That's what I lean on.
So was it important for her to have that same belief system as you, or do you think it would have worked either way?
I mean, the first thing that I did, once I started evaluating, once it started moving past the friendship zone, was I invited her to church. That was the move for me. Like, once you invited to church, that's it. And I even had a conversation with her before I even invited her, before I even let her go. I said, yo, once you come this way, it ain't no turning back. And she was like, all right, I'm with it. And so we rocked out and we got it popping. She
You
came to
know,
church. She fell right in, and then we've been rocking out ever since.
I actually think that that's the key because even though I went to church my whole life, my husband being the person that was about that life only
Mm,
more made it more more real for me.
yeah,
He led me there. He showed me, he took it, whereas it's a difference from you sitting in the pulpits and listening to the preacher than to have someone in your life talking to you and praying for you daily and sharing, making it real, bringing the
do you
scripture
know that I do you
alive.
know that I actually people hate this because they hate positivity. Do you know that I actually pray for my wife? There has not been one night that my daughter and my wife has not been prayed for. And I'm not talking about that, oh, I'm about to send a prayer up for him type prayer. I'm talking about I go in my daughter's room, I wash my hands, I put my hands on her, and I pray for her. I pray for her life. I pray for her future. I pray that she's intentional. I pray that she get the lessons that she's supposed to get in order to become the best version of herself. Every single night, my wife, Rita, I pray for her most of the time when she sleep. Leslie, we actually have a ritual that we go through in which I actually go through and I pray for her every single night. I go in, I have a conversation with her before she go to bed. We talk about her day. I give her some little pointers, or sometimes I just listen and let her vent depending on what the situation is. And then, I give her a hug and kiss, and then I pray for her. Same thing with Rita. Whatever it is, I'm very, very focused on who she is and how it is that she's moves and what she goes through and things like that, whether she's happy or whether she's middling or whether she's struggling with something. And that's just being aware and very, very involved in what it is that they're doing on a daily basis. And I pray for them. I literally pray for my wife and my daughter every single night. I've always done it for the last 18 years. And that's just a part of who it is that I am. I actually go through and I pray for my family.
Yeah, that's
individually.
important. It's very important. Sam Will 312, thank you for subscribing to the channel. So let me ask you this question. When did you realize that you and Rita had become one?
I don't think that I don't look at it as we won.
You don't?
Is that crazy?
No, I need to hear this. Well, how do you see it? No, I need to hear it.
I look at us as I look at us as two superheroes. And I just look at us as individuals, right?
Yeah.
That's a part of one team, but I look at her as her own individual, and I look at me as my own individual. And the thing about it is, and that's the thing where I don't like when people say I'm coming into it 50-50. I like them when they say we coming in 100-100, because I'm my own person, she her own person, but two horses pulling together can pull 10 times their weight, 10 times the weight of one that's pulling by itself. So I look at us as individuals, because, I don't want her to be like me. I don't want her to be, anything that's similar to what it is. I'm not looking for her to, adjust to me. I want her to be her, and then I just look for the best version of her. And that's the thing that I focus the most on. I'm not trying to change her. I want her to be who she is. I don't want her to agree with me all the time. As a matter of fact, I find more value in her when she pushes me and she gives me feedback that I may not want to hear, but that may be the best for me. I champion and I celebrate everything about her. So I'm not looking to make her like me or, as one. And I know we come together as one because we're working together, but at the same time, I look at her as her own individual. I don't look at us as one.
You're taking it too literal. Too literal. It is.
Mm-mm.
The reason why I say this is because women are adaptable. She will and has to adapt to you as her
naturally.
But she is still her own person and her own independence. But that has nothing. When I say, when the word of God says becoming one, I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you know when she doesn't feel? Do you feel good when she doesn't?
Heck yeah, I do sometimes.
You don't know when she's not feeling. So I don't mean no. I'm saying, do you know when you're
good in the morning? She be like, "Honey, I don't feel good today." I'll be like, "I'm gonna pray for you," but I'm about to. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, no. Well, maybe you're not there yet, but there will be a time when you feel when she
feel when she doesn't feel good.
That's what I mean.
It doesn't make me feel good when she don't feel good.
That's what I mean.
But I'm gonna just tell you, sometimes I'll be feeling good that day, and I like, listen, I hope things get better for you.
It will be becoming one with your spouse, or becoming one is that it's a complete thing. You're a complete. It doesn't change either one of you. Actually, you both are needed to become one. Whatever she brings to the table, or what she's bringing to the table, and what you have brought to the table, also, all of it is required. Become the Anton Daniels team. It's like you said, but it gets deeper. It does get deeper. The energy levels. It becomes one. You become one. Now I'm one with my husband, but I've been married 26 years.
So, what does that mean, though, to be one? Though I don't even know what that means. To be honest,
what does it mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you an example. Okay. My husband and I's thought process is so much alike. We don't have to say much, but we know exactly what's going on. Exact same time, we'll know exactly. I can we can be apart, and when we get together, we can say one word and he'll say, I just was thinking that. Before I even get done, he'll say, I just was thinking that. In the middle of the
That's
night,
cool.
sometimes. In the middle of the night,
Yeah,
sometimes.
I mean, we are synced in a lot of ways. And I understand that. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that. But
It's
like, for
together,
example,
though.
they say when
It's
you get married, you
completely better.
become one, right? But what
Mhm.
about newlyweds that don't have that? You know what I'm saying? They don't have that a lot of times.
Well, I think it's something that you grow into. I don't think it's something that happens overnight. It didn't happen for me overnight. I first had to submit to it because we, as women, we do have to adapt to the way that our husbands move. I mean, that's something you have to do. I can't fight my husband. There's no way that I can't, my will has to submit. Rita had to submit in
Ultimately,
order.
yeah.
Yeah. I can't, that's just
Ultimately,
how,
yeah.
yeah.
See, the way me and Rita look at things is completely different, even with regard to our marriage, right?
Okay.
She look at things from a love perspective.
Right.
I look at things first from a business perspective.
I think that's a man and woman contrast, though, isn't it? My husband
It
would be the
is.
same way. I think.
But see, a lot of people would say that you got to be on the same exact page in order for it to work, and I don't necessarily see it that way.
No, I think
I
that's the
think that, I mean, honestly, think about it, security boss. A lot of people, arranged marriages have a much higher success rate than marriages that's not arranged.
I don't know that, but okay, keep going.
So is becoming one the idea behind we are merging whatever it is that we do in order to be successful and this, that, and so, or is becoming one becoming in tune with each other?
So let me say this
Because
way: becoming one is a godly. That's a principle of marriage through the Bible.
mhm,
People who have arranged marriages, I don't know if that is one that they believe in the same Father or believe in the same God. I think marriage can work with principles, not necessarily pertaining to what we believe,
mm.
because there's still agreements. And I think marriage can work with agreements. Now, but
That's
see,
because you love security boss.
listen, because I
You look
also
at things from a love perspective.
because guess what? I also think if we were put together, then we probably can't come apart. There's probably no leaving the situation. So it has to be a situation that's worked out. If somebody put me with someone, they probably said, and you're not going anywhere either. There's some more arrangements that were made from the beginning that's going to keep me going through the end. It's probably only maybe one thing, that would break up that relationship, and it would probably be nothing less than abuse. That woman would have to stay in that arranged marriage, or that man would have to stay in that arranged marriage. But it also goes to this: he probably is allowed to have more than one wife. You have to think about what kind of principle that marriage was based on, or what agreements had going in. That's what I think. So, when you use the arranged marriage, I don't know about that, because you can't get out of an arranged marriage because it's more things involved.
No, security boss, I don't think so. I think that a lot of people make it like they make it to be a lot more like they add more context than that's really true. I think that arranged marriage in a lot of ways is not necessarily, hey, you're going to marry this person. But like, for example, if I am grooming what is soon to be possibly my daughter's husband,
Right.
in a way, I'm arranging her marriage. I'm making the man that I would want to be for my daughter. That is
Right.
in a way an arranged marriage. A lot of people are in arranged marriages and they just don't label it that way because the way they put the framework, it sounds like it's something that's very, very historic, but it's a lot of people that are very, very successful, and their husbands are picked from a pool of dudes that ultimately is groomed for that specific woman because there's a concentration of power.
So
Arranged marriages come in a lot of different forms, and they're often at times much more successful than when people pick for themselves.
So who picks that person? I mean, you said from a pool of young men that have been groomed for
Mm-hmm.
this. I mean, like a cotillion type thing, right? Like the men.
I think that the husband should always be picked by the father.
Mm.
Always. I mean, and why shouldn't he? Because literally, in an ideal world, no matter how old your daughter gets, she's under my covering until she gets a husband. And then that transfer of power goes from me to him, which is one of the reasons why the father walks the daughter down the aisle and give her away symbolically to her husband.
Husband. Yeah. And then at that point, she's with her husband.
1000%. So if the father is not the one that's participating and making sure that, you know, her husband is the one that's for her, I think that more often than not is doomed to be a failure.
I mean, I don't know. That's not my story, but my husband did ask my father's permission, but my husband, he wasn't picked by my father, but he did ask his permission. He gave him some, some wise words and things of that nature. But, in a perfect world, in a good world, in a place where we would like to be, that sounds very good. And I would think that would go far, because then you also would be there for that man, who is now your son and your daughter. And that would be the way. That's a family situation. That would be community. I get it. That sounds good to me, but that's not happening a lot of times around here.
And that's why our communities are so fractured, because it's not happening.
Well, I don't know.
Continue to have a bunch of people that don't know anything about anything selecting for themselves, and literally they using it as a test dummy and a guinea pig, and they find themselves on the other side of that fence, and it's not looking good.
Hold on for one moment, Anton. We got a super chat from Lapeef. We have
shout out to the homie.
$49.99 super check. Guess what? You get the Money Line song. Anton, like he don't know what to do when the Money Line song come on.
I be chilling. I let y'all do your thing. I
don't know what to do.
I'm doing my two-step under the table.
Yeah. He said salute to the family. Great collab. Thank you so much, Lapeef. So you're right, Anton, and I would love to have had that situation, but it just wasn't. But we did ask permission. My dad did give kind words, and I stumbled up on a good one, and that worked for me. But the fact that you're there to groom some young men for your daughter, that's outstanding. That would make a great situation. Actually, that makes a very, very good situation. But you mentioned grooming some. Would your daughter have an opportunity to pick, or how would that part work?
Not really. I mean, it's the perception of choice.
Oh, she makes her think that she's doing something, but she not. Okay.
Yeah, it's the perception of choice. She think that she is, but she really not doing much.
So how do you? That's a good idea, but how do you keep the world from penetrating the thoughts of young people in today's society?
I mean, it's really just you can't really prevent the world from coming in. I think the way you do it is you help children, you help them fail in a controlled environment. So I know that there's going to be struggles. I know that she's going to have things that she goes through and all of that and so on and so forth, right? But my goal is not to prevent her from experiencing these things. My goal is to teach her the lessons and to make sure that she gets it early, so that she doesn't often at times have to learn the hard way when she gets older. So my goal is to help her, but to help her also as she fails in these controlled environments that I can control the outcome. And then that's what helps to groom her into being what it is that she's going to be, in addition to whatever it is that she learns from me and her mother. And then in addition to that, kids often emulate what it is that they see. They don't care about what you say. So my goal also, in addition to that, is to become the man, or to be the man that I would want my daughter to marry. Every decision that I make, it comes from the idea that I want my daughter to pick a man, or to align herself with a man as Rita aligns with me, because I'm the man that I would want her to marry. You see what I'm saying? So
I do.
It's really control over everything. I control everything.
We tried. We hadn't even gotten to the marriage part with my daughter, and dates had to come to the house. They had to ring the doorbell. They had to come in. They had to sit down. We had to talk. We needed to know what the family structure was like. We needed to know everything. And I'm telling you, it was so much pushback and resistance and craziness, because we sent her off to a liberal college. And
Oh, no, no,
yeah,
no, no,
you
no,
don't know
no.
everything when you're going through. I wish I had somebody. I wish, but I didn't.
Man.
I didn't. I mean, it was some nights I was willing to drive 3 hours, made me so mad. But anyway,
Mm,
yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
like that.
So we
I don't
messed
like
up.
that.
We messed up. We did. But I know
But
that
the
now.
things that you put in her when she was young, I can't imagine that it really departed from her.
No,
Right?
it didn't. She's a good girl. She's a good woman. Excuse me. She's a
Right.
good woman. No trouble in anything, but she's altered her life.
Hmm.
And
So you think that it's smart for me to groom the people that I would want my daughter to marry?
I do. I think you should
But that's arranged marriage, security boss.
again, you're calling it grooming. Back then, we wanted to meet. We wanted to talk about the family structure. We wanted to, if a young man came to our house and he didn't have any conversation, he wasn't good. I said, no, he's not the one. A man that doesn't talk at all, I don't want, that's not good. He needs to be able to know how to speak in front of adults. He needs to be able to answer questions in front of adults. If he's not, then
Right.
I don't like his intentions. And I'm serious. I used to be like, anyway.
Well, I don't believe in dating, though, security boss.
See, that was we did. I actually told my daughter that I wanted her to date.
AntonDaniels.com joined.
Okay. AntonDaniels.com joined again. Yeah, this is the craziest stream. This is one of the craziest streams we had in a long time. But yeah, Anton, I used to promote her dating. I wanted her to date.
Really?
I did. But listen, dating for me was different than what's going on in this world today. You know, my dating was like going to the car wash. You know, we would wash our cars, we would go skating, and it would be more like people, lots of people. None of this grouping, these car dates, what you call them now, and it's a lot different. It's a lot different. So, I wanted her to meet different people. But see, we were in a church. I wanted her to see different young men, and because I used to be over the youth group. I used to speak to the youth group, so I wanted to. You know, all of that, you know, have that little man over. I would like have a little gathering at the house for the youth group or stuff like that. You know, they wanted to talk.
I mean, that don't sound bad.
You know,
but did she wind up rocking with any of those people?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, that's pretty.
For some reason, she found the hood life impressive. Now, has she ever lived in the hood? Absolutely not. Never ever lived in the hood. It's amazing to me the things that happen. Anyway, we're not gonna stay there. We're gonna continue to go. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. You know. Yeah. So it's interesting. Your kids are interesting. That's what I say, and we move on.
Yep, I got you.
Yep. So anyway, tell us about this benevolent dictator.
Let's hear everything. This is not a democracy in my household. This is a dictatorship.
Okay.
I'm the ruler. All decisions ultimately come through me. And this is not a partnership. Like, I don't believe in when I hear people say, oh, I want a partner that completes me or whatever bullcrap that they say. I don't believe in that. But the context or the word that we want to add along with that is benevolent, meaning that I'm a nice guy, right? I value the people that surround me. I value Rita's perspective and the value that she adds into these conversations. And I put her in a position of power because I know who she is. I know where her strengths are. I know where it is that she can continue to put, pressure on certain things. Rita has been in rooms that ultimately translated into some of the most successful situations for me, right? So ultimately the decision goes through me. I'm the person that's going to, at the end of the day, it's going to fall on my shoulders. The success of our family rises and it falls on what it is that I do on a regular basis. So I need to take ownership of that. I need to take responsibility for that. I need to take responsibility for what happens to my daughter and my wife, from provision and protection to the decisions and the colleges that they go to and the things that they do on a regular basis, even their habits. I'm going to instill that in them, not by saying it, but being a servant leader first, right? That's what a benevolent dictator is. They're actually one of the most, I think that's the thing that society at large misses is real leadership at the head of the table. But at the same time, I want her to tell me what the truth is. I want her to say, "Yo, honey, I don't know about that. This, no. We're gonna figure that out." But ultimately, it comes from me.
Thank you so much for your $20 super chat. Give me mine. Yeah. So wait a minute, Nicholas Virgil, thank you so much for your super chat.
Shout out to Nick, my guy. I love Nick.
Thank you for your $100 super chat, Nicholas.
The whole crew is in here
Shout out
today,
to the
huh?
security boss Anton Dance for collab. Appreciate your insight. So listen, I want to.
That's my guy.
I want to
Got
say
all
something
my
to a
crews in
comment
here.
that I saw a little bit ago. I'm sorry, Anton. I'm sorry. What were you saying?
No. I was just saying that all decisions come through me, but I still value different opinions and perspectives, and the people that I surround myself with. I don't surround them. I don't put them around me to be puppets. I surround them. I put them around me so that they can add value into my life and help me make better decisions. But it's still my decision at the end of the day, and they understand that.
So that's what I mean by women adapting. We have to adapt to our men because you should make the final decision. The weight of the relationship should fall on you. You should be responsible for everything that goes on in the household, good or bad.
Yeah.
So
I
I
own that.
So listen, I wanted to comment to I think it was Lance. Lance made a comment, the hood. Is the hood bad? Lance, the hood can be very bad if it alters your life.
Yes, no, sir. I think the hood is bad. The hood is bad.
It can be very bad.
Nobody tell you anything differently.
If it alters your life, it definitely can be. Eugene Steele, thank you so much for your $10 super chat. It says it seems that many parents nowadays do not talk to their children about the birds and the bees, especially their daughters. Did you have that discussion with your daughter yet? Oh, Anton, did you have that discussion with your daughter yet? Hold that thought.
Yeah, I've always like, we've never hid, the
sex talk.
It's so funny because even today, I'll tease her and I'll be like, "Is your friends having sex here, Leslie?" And she'll just
yeah. So listen, my daughter is an adult woman. So
Mine is only 14
years ago. I have nothing to say now pertaining to her sex life. But that's a good point. I appreciate what you're doing. Definitely stick in there, groom them if you can, do it, stay attentive. But again, my husband and I used to be in there. We used to be asking 10 questions and they'd be scared to death. But it was like, nah, you ain't leaving out of here till we get some answers. But
I mean, honestly, we just have conversations. It's just general conversations. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be anything. It could be something that we watching on TV or whatever. And it could be something that I insert into that conversation that might add context. And I might say, man, she shows sleeping with a lot of people. I hope she, you know what I'm saying, putting on protection. It could just be anything. But my daughter knows everything there is to know about sex at 14. And yeah, she is definitely still a virgin, 100%.
Now, does she know that you're not fond of dating?
Yeah, she know what it is. I don't believe in dating at all.
Okay.
But I mean,
James Burnett, thank you so much for your $9.99 super chat. He says he finds both of us to be encouraging. Thank you so much. Yeah. So, Anton, we're gonna move on though, because I want to know about this. What motivated you to come on to YouTube though? I know it was 8 years. What was your motivation for that?
I just wanted to document my life. That was the initial reason. Like, I just wanted to, initially I wanted to help people, as far as, giving them insight and understanding as far as careers and web development, right? My very first video was really a tutorial of how it is that you need to be able to develop and, stuff like that. And then, after I did that one series, I think it was like 10 videos and I knocked it out in like a couple weeks or whatever. Then I started documenting my life and I just started going through the journey, and the goal wasn't to make money or become successful on YouTube. The goal was to have something that people that came after me, that maybe my granddaughters or whatever, so on and so forth, can look to and say, yo, this is who my, you know, who he was. This is what the information that he left me. I want to die empty. And I just wanted to give every single piece of information, the wins, the losses, the failures, the successes, my entire mindset. I just wanted to leave a library of different things for people to mine through that knew me or wanted to understand who they was. Because if you go back, most people, they don't even know who their great, 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 great grandfather is. All of that knowledge went away and it died with him.
You're right.
And so my goal was to, okay, I need to document this journey because I don't know when I don't know. And then I just started putting it together, and then it just kind of transformed into, me just living my life like an open book. It just was what it was, That was how I got started on YouTube.
So I want to tell you something about that. But first, Lance, thank you so much for your $5 super chat. So let me tell you, the one video that I cracked up on, it was just too funny. I was like, I know he ain't gonna do this. Was when I think you were in some sort of surgery. I think was it your teeth? Did you have? And you were under the anesthesia and you were talking.
Yeah, it was my wisdom teeth. I got my wisdom teeth pulled out.
Do you recall that video? I know you do, right?
Yeah.
You lost it that day. I was
like, I don't remember ever saying anything. Rita recorded me because she said that I was gonna be lying when she said that I would think that she was lying when she said that I was doing all of the stuff that I was doing. So I don't remember any of that at all, not even a little bit.
When you went back to the video, what did you say to yourself?
I mean, it's how I really am in real life.
I cannot believe he's
That's the way I talk. Like I talk.
This is crazy.
Security boss. If people think that the way that I am on here is crazy, they don't really want to see me in my element in real life. Like I talk spicy. I am very blunt. I'm very direct. I don't pull no punches. If I'm talking to Rita, excuse me, I know you got a nice platform on here. And I just be like, I'm about to bust that down. Like I just talk. I'm the realest dude ever. I just say what it is that I say it. That's what you was exhibited in the video.
My husband had some surgery and he was in there talking about is the nurse, he didn't know what he was saying to me. Is the nurse saved? Don't let her touch me. He was just talking crazy. I was like, what are you talking about? And then I look at your video. I was like, Lord, look at the
Nah, mine was crazy. I was saying, listen, I think the nurse is cute. She doing a little too much. Less is more. Like I was just saying what it is. I talk exactly how I talk in real life.
I know. I know. So let me ask this question and then we're going to open up the lines. It's time to open up because we stopped and started. So I hope you just put this little bit of time in with us just a little bit longer. But we're going to open up the lines and have people come up and ask questions because everybody's in a good mood. They got it going really well. I appreciate everybody. Make sure you get those those likes up. Excuse me. So this is the question. What inspires you today? What are you inspired about?
What inspires me today?
Yeah, today. Not very today, little. But at this point in your life.
Very little. Very, very little. As a matter of fact, I think that I've won so much in my life to where I almost, because see, like even if you go back to my videos, and it's so funny because when I see people say stuff and junk like that, I always have the documentation that I can go back and reference, right?
Right.
I retired back in 2019. Literally, like I had walked away from corporate America and I called it the golden handcuffs. I did a whole documentation of it. And I said, you know what? I got to figure out what's next because I got all of the money. I got all of the resources. I've accomplished this. I've done that. I've drove this. I've done all of this other type of stuff. And so what next? And so the interesting thing about it is that now very little does. And so the thing that I lean on is pouring into other people. That's the thing that keeps me going is pouring into other people. Because if I'm just leaning on, okay, well, what is next or whatever, so on and so forth, how much is enough money?
Yeah.
Yeah. How big do the place got to be? I own 15 properties. I actually did a documentation where I took people through, one of my rental properties and I was showing them some of my tenants just unexpectedly. And they had rebuilt the garage and all of
Yep,
this other type of stuff.
I saw that.
What more do I have to do in order to validate myself? So now, since I bought my time back and now people have become my currency, the goal is just to pour into other people and build other people up, put other people on, show love, all of that other type of stuff, and just continue to pour into other people, because I believe that people are going to be my legacy. When I see others be successful, or they go on and they wind up becoming more successful than me and they pour into other people, I think that that's my legacy. My legacy is how I impact people and what it is that they do for others. So that's what inspires me now. It's just pouring into other people. That's it.
Well, that's definitely true because you're definitely a giver.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean, it's like, how many? I got 5 Rolexes up there, including one on my wrist. How many more watches can I buy? Okay, now I gotta go buy a Patek Philippe, and I'm on a list for that. And then what? I gotta go get a Richard Mille. What else? You know what I'm saying? It's not about stuff now. I've already got the stuff. Now it's about experiences. I crashed my Porsche the other day and I didn't even care.
mm,
I didn't even care. It's like, and everybody else is like, oh man, why do I got insurance? Who cares? It's a
right.
car. You drive it hard. There is meant to be driven. It's meant to be experienced and enjoyed. And now you get most of your joy off of seeing other people be successful. That's what drives me.
That's good. That's really good because you're definitely a giver. So listen, months ago, we were on a panel. I may have came on your panel, and I asked you a question. I think the question was, do men need women?
Mm-hmm.
And you said no.
Not at all.
Do you still feel that way?
Yes.
And I disagree.
Why? Why?
I think that men need women because it completes the actual principle that God intended it to be. Now, I know you explained to me that you don't want to say, I'm not going to take your words from it, but you had your reasonings for not saying it does because you don't want women or men to think that women are the goal.
They're not even a little bit.
Right. And I agree with that. I do think the men need to be whole before they even seek out the woman. So I don't want to mess that thought up, but I do think women are necessary to complete the whole goal or the purpose of us being here on earth. Those are my thoughts. So the need may not be the correct word, but I think the woman completes it. But not everybody is meant to be married.
I don't think that men need women even a little bit.
You don't?
And as a matter of fact, when I see men that lean on women in order to feel validated, I see an empty hole in them.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Women can add value. I see inherently how women are dope and how they are awesome and how you can use them in order to continue to level up and things like that. But I don't believe that men need women even a little bit.
I think that men need women. No, we're talking
for
about
what would we need them for?
To be complete. And the reason for you being here on earth, you just wasn't generated to be a man here on earth. You have a purpose. And if your purpose was to be married and to procreate, then you need a woman to do it.
I don't think that was what the purpose was, though.
Oh, really?
Think about it. When woman was created, she was an afterthought. She wasn't the initial purpose.
Right. Afterthought. Keep going. Afterthought because what? Adam didn't have any
man to be alone.
To say it again. He did.
But that doesn't mean that we needed them. It just means that they continue. And I say it, women do add value and they dope, and I think they're awesome and everything like that. But they weren't the initial purpose. There was something that continued to add. They like jewelry in a lot of ways.
No. Well,
that's why we call them trophy wives.
Listen, God did it though. When he did it, he saw
trophy wives.
He saw that Adam was missing something. So he pulled from his rib and said, I'm going to give you this woman because you can have someone for yourself. We can't deny that. I mean,
we already had the whole earth. We had the garden, the domains,
exactly,
animals, everything.
And it was still something missing.
God said, I want you to have complication and dysfunction in your life. So let me put this woman down here so she can go and talk to the serpent and then give you this fruit so that your life can be uncomfortable. And then you have to struggle for the rest of your time on this earth. That's what I seen.
Or was it that he put the woman there to show the man where he was lacking in his leadership? How you want to see it?
He was lacking peace.
He was lacking in his
Because
leadership.
every which way she was always being dysfunctional.
Okay. But now I say he was lacking in his leadership because the first thing he said is, that's the woman that you gave me. He didn't take account for it. He just said, that's the woman you gave me. Why didn't he say, God, I know I was wrong, but
because he wasn't necessarily wrong. See, God, listen, God describes himself in a lot of different ways.
Yes.
He described himself as terrible in the Bible in some ways. He's described himself as gracious, right? God is all of these big balls of things all poured into one.
Yes.
So maybe because we don't understand his ways, because his ways are so far from our ways,
you're right.
Maybe he put women on here as a cruel joke.
You could be right. And the other thing too that we didn't mention is that we did gain knowledge of good and evil when we partake from the tree, right? So that changes everything. That changes everything. I agree with you, because when we didn't know that, we really don't know how things really were, right? So the whole idea of it was totally different until somebody went over there and disturbed that tree.
Women largely make us human. They help us to realize the extremes and everything, the extreme good, the extreme bad, and then, that's just a part of the game. So I think that women are dope, right? I think that they ultimately valuable. Do I think that we need women?
Yes.
Nah, I need a woman about as much as I need a Porsche. It's a nice to have.
That's not true.
It's a nice to have, security boss.
Listen, God told you need it. He wouldn't have taken your whole rib out of you. And gosh, I mean, just the point that he took the rib from you, because he's God. He could just, the dust, the dirt, he could have created it without you. That goes back to becoming one. Come on.
Y'all don't even have your own name. Y'all had to put W-O in front of it. Think about it. Look. Women don't even get, they can't even do their own thing. Everything they do, it comes from us. Look, we got the NBA, and then they're going to put the W in front of it. That we're going to be the WNBA. It's like, no, just let us have our stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
So you get what you see. You see what's happening now. See, without women, you know how you would be? Very imbalanced. That's what we gave you.
I don't know.
We gave the world balance, and we give men balanced. And if you find a good one, which is a good thing, he also says that, then
the security boss,
okay.
The world became unbalanced once he created women. Think about it. Everything was perfect.
No, that added to the balance, because everything else had two from Noah. So
that added space.
That was after, but everything else had something that looked like them, except Adam. That added balance.
I don't know, security boss.
Added balance.
Listen, I love my ladies. Do I think that I would be successful? And Rita is the dopest person in the world. Do I think that I would have been successful without Rita? Absolutely, without even a question.
Yes.
Not even without even questioning it. I don't even have to think about it. Yes, I would be absolutely incredible with or without her. Absolutely.
Yeah, but you are more with her.
We don't know that.
It's the real that work. It's the real
that work. Security boss.
You're the one who've offered and said that she has gotten you and networked you more deals and got you into doors that you may have not gotten into.
That's true.
That. So
that's true, but we don't know what we don't know what we don't know, because we don't have anything to compare it to. Is all I'm saying.
You said you gave her credit for those things. So if you didn't have those things, you could just say that.
But think about it, security boss. I give her credit because I groomed her to be that way.
I agree.
It's all because of me, ultimately.
But
listen, and this is the beauty of being a benevolent dictator.
Okay.
All the losses is mine.
Right.
All of the wins are mine.
Ours.
It's mine. I groomed her to be exactly who it is that she is, so that she can go in these rooms and she can use her femininity and her talents. I made sure that those talents were accentuated, and I taught her how to move in a room full of snakes and what to look out for, and how it is that she can leverage what it is that she got in order to continue to bring more back to the table. That's all me. And I
Well,
say it, and I say this all the time. Think
well,
about it.
wait a minute though.
I
If
tell
you
people, think about it, security boss. I
So I'm
tell
gonna
people all the
hold on
time.
for a minute though. If you were the man you were going to be prior to her, you were going to be successful, then she had to have those qualities prior to you also. You just have adjusted and adapted them to you. She already had them. So she was going to make some man great
No,
or
she
contribute
wouldn't.
to his
And
greatness.
let me tell
Whether it
you,
was
let
you
me
or
tell you the
another
truth.
man.
And I say this all the time, and I say this on these
Wait a minute, I
platforms.
didn't hear this.
I tell it to Rita. I say, if y'all would have got Rita, y'all would have ruined her. She would have been just like every other woman that they
No.
treat, and they have certain. I'm telling you, security boss. Listen. This is what I know about women for sure.
Okay.
Women will ride to the end of the earth for the guy that they rock with. Think about it. I could have made her what I wanted her to be. She wanted me to take her virginity. She gave me complete domain over her life. I could have made her great, or I could have ruined her. The next guy, any other guy that would have got her, they could have made her great, or they would have ruined her. Either way, she was going to rise and fall based on the man and the covering that she came under. The only reason, the main reason why she's as great as she is because she came under covering. I taught her every single thing that she know. I taught her how to drive.
But that was your
I was
covering.
the father figure in her life.
But are you saying that she couldn't have come under someone else's covering and been just as successful in marriage as with you?
No,
What?
no.
Anton, God created her to be a wife, whether it was at
God
this
created her to
time
be
or not,
under me.
your wife. Okay.
Under me.
Well, I'm gonna give you that, but I was gonna be a wife, a good one, no matter what husband I had, and I just adjusted to my husband.
I think your husband, whoever, if you'd have got another husband, he could have ruined you.
Well, I mean that could be the case too.
Could have ruined you.
Could be, because God is in control. I can't say what would have been or could have been, but you could be right about that.
He in control. It's a
I agree.
hierarchy, security
I
boss.
agree
Think
with
about
that.
it. Listen.
No, I
You
agree.
you can't bypass the husband, right? It's God over man, man over woman, woman over child. Women that try to bypass the man in order to acknowledge God, which you should always acknowledge God, but you got to honor. The only way that you can show that you acknowledge God is by acknowledging your husband. The only way that you can show you love people is by loving the people that God put on this earth. Nobody knows. You don't know a God, right? You have nothing to physically touch. You have nothing to really acknowledge. It's all faith based. And
Right.
so the way that you show it, and this is the thing that I always have problems with pastors and stuff, is because they only talk the faith part. The works is the manifestation, right? That shows that you truly believe in what you believe in. And the only way you can do that is through the people and the works that you have with the people that's on this earth. So if you want to show that you really love God, you got to show that you love your husband. It's the only way.
Yeah, that is the only way. I agree with that, because the covenant is with God, but that has nothing to do with the person that I'm saying to you that I'm pretty sure that Rita is willing to do that, whether it would be you or another man that loves God also. Are you
Nope.
saying that
It's
she wouldn't
only
have found
been me.
another man? It wouldn't have been no other man.
They would have ruined her.
Oh,
And then they would have been calling her for the streets.
wow. Well, I
They
don't know.
would
It
have
didn't
ruined her.
happen, so I'm glad she met you. I'm glad you
Think about it. There's plenty of awesome, wholesome. I even have I have so much content. I have an interview from years ago where I interviewed a woman that was literally a 25-year-old virgin. I mean, sweet, has a phenomenal career, has a sweet spirit, all of that. She's not in the position that Rita's in, not even a little bit.
right.
It's a reason for that.
I see. Okay. I see. But I think that's a good thing, though. I'd rather her be alone than to be destroyed by a bad situation.
I would too.
But
But
I
there's too many women that are the residual effects of what we see happen time and time again. And a man can absolutely destroy you, or they can make you great. They can build you up, or they can tear you down. And I think that Rita is the beneficiary of somebody that has built her up, because I've seen the value in her, and everybody has value, but very few people actually nurture that thing and make it to be something great. I seen it from the beginning, and I groomed her.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that. I guess I'm a little different. I'm an old spirit. I was an old head from the beginning. I was never resistant. I was always submissive. But as far as me adapting and submitting to my husband, that's definitely a work of God, and I never resisted it. I knew what I had to do. I never wanted to be on the wrong side of it. Never.
I got you.
Never.
I
Never.
told you I was gonna turn this thing up, security boss. I was gonna say some things.
No. I want you to say some things. Everything is good over here. Listen,
But
I
I'm
am
gonna
here
say
to
it.
learn.
You know
So
I'm gonna say
I'm
it.
older than you, but I can learn. I'm still a woman. I always hang out with men. It's crazy, but I hang out with men all the time. I
Security
always
boss. This is why I believe that most women should not be leaders.
because of what?
Because it means that they're circumventing the process. They stepping outside of what it is. It doesn't mean that women can't be great leaders. It means that I don't believe that women should be in leadership positions because that is not the inherent way in which she's supposed to operate. She's not
Right.
built for that, even though we can modify it to fit that. I don't think that that's the thing that women should be in a position to have to deal
Hold
with.
up for a minute. The Thinking Man podcast has blessed us with $150 super chat. Look at you, Anton. I see you moving now. Didn't I see you moving? There you go. Yeah. Thinking Man says much love to Anton, Rita, and Mr. and Miss Security Boss. Love you guys. Love you too. Thinking Man, I love him. He is. I don't know who gave him that name, but it's him.
That's my guy. That's my dog.
I know. Awesome. So listen, we have not, I don't think we've dropped the link yet, but the link is in the chat. So anyone that has any questions, you're going to come up and ask your questions of me or either Anton, please do. And Anton, is there anything else that you want to add that we haven't talked about yet? I think we kind of been out.
Kick it with the people.
You want to what?
I want to kick it with the people.
Yeah, I want to see what the people got to say. They going crazy over in this chat. Somebody say, is God a man? Is God a man? I have seen some other ones over here too. We all love Thinking Man.
Black
Brittany
Man
V,
Unfiltered Network joined.
Black Man. Hey, Black Man.
Put that money line song in. I need to hear. What's up, Anton? What's going on, my guy?
There you go, Black Man. Show us how you do it.
Hey.
There you go.
Anton Daniels, what's going on, my guy?
What's going on, my friend? What's happening?
Man, same old, brother. Good to see you. Unsolicited security boss. That jacket tonight is popping.
I had to bring it out.
Mr. Boss. Watcher.
He back here listening.
Yeah. That's my guy, man. That's my guy, Mr. Boss. Quiet Storm is what I call him.
What you got for Black Man? What kind of questions you got under your belt, though? I know you want to add something good.
Yeah, absolutely. I had put in the comments earlier, asked Anton when he was going to do the F Your Feelings 2-step. He didn't do it. So then I had to come back and ask him when he's going to open up that F Your Feelings Baptist Church, when he's going to open up the church, because he's preaching tonight. Now, a lot of people in the chat now, they ain't putting up with you tonight. But I'm looking at the chat right now. Yeah, they putting up with you tonight, Anton. But man, you've been preaching, brother. I mean, you've been preaching, Doc.
He's been on his best.
Honestly, I don't think that. I think that the problem with the church in a general sense is that the preachers are too busy trying to make people feel good instead of telling them the truth.
Ooh, that's it.
And that's what I do. I just tell them the truth. I study my Bible every single morning. I pray, I meditate every single morning. And the reality is, this is it. Like, this is the way that things should go when we're so far out of place that right has become wrong and wrong has become right. And everybody feels like they have a choice, when reality is, I think that everybody is just living in this crazy space in their head in which they've justified why they think the way they think, but it doesn't mean that it's right.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't. Follow your teachings per se. But you said a lot of things. I mean, as far as the culture, but you also said about your wife just like a few minutes ago. A lot of people don't agree with that. A lot of people feel like she could have went out and found somebody else, but you said she was made specifically for you.
Mm-hmm. So her goal was to find me. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, but you know, I think that you, I think you've done a lot. I think you've done the work, man. I think she's, even, you know, the thing that gets me is that you say the stuff they don't like when you say it, but then Rita come right behind you and say the same thing.
She does. And if I wasn't on this show right now, she'd be up under me like a little puppy, just all in her comfort zone. Like, yep, I got you. Yep, I agree with you. I'm with it. And she know where the greatness is. She know where her bread is buttered. She know what's awesome and what's not. She ain't trying to be nothing like these chicks out here. She know it's a great thing to be under a benevolent dictator.
Mm.
And guess what? You know what the biggest part about it is?
Yeah.
Her mother love it too.
Oh, that's good. She knows she's taking care of us. Hold on for one moment. Let me give a shout out to Big Shot. 1 second. Let me see.
Big Shot Ammo. That's my guy.
Thank you for your $10 super chat. It says even
I
that
love Big Shot Ammo.
900,000. What? Hold on. Let me see. Even that Turner says 900/1,000 can come because they'll stop progress. Did you get my pitch deck, Anton?
I got you, fam. I got your pitch deck, big dog.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Big Shot Ammo, for your super chat. Thank you. But that is, you know what though, you kind of almost feel like, I feel like my husband is for me because of the way it kind of played itself out too, because we got married so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if that's everyone's experience or will be everyone's experience. So, I don't know. It was mine. Anton got married pretty quick too after, but you can't say Anton got married quick because he'd been watching her from the 9th grade.
And he don't believe in
Well,
dating.
I mean, as soon as I could get married, I got married. Really.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, again, I was just really, really intentional, and I always have been intentional, and it's always been easy for her to, even when I went broke, right? Even when I lost everything, it was so easy for her to just still come up under my covering because she know it was only temporary. And in my eyes, it was a test. It was a test to see what I was really made of when all of the chips was on the line. Are you going to fold? Or are you going to man up and you going to, show the thing that you've been groomed to do? And I manned up and, I passed the test. And it was I just reinforced the things that I had been teaching her all along in the first place. It was very, very easy. Very easy. And I still don't stop.
So what do you say, Anton, to the people that say, because in the circles that I'm in, I hear this. What do you say to people that say that arrogant bastard? What do you say to those people?
I don't know. I mean, it's better to be on this side. You know what's so funny? You know what's so interesting, security boss?
Mm-hmm.
The majority of the people, and you was in Atlanta, listen. Why would I care about what other people think when security boss, you see what happens when I come to a city?
Right.
The whole place shut down. They all my people. I'm not looking to satisfy everybody. I'm looking to find the people that need to go in the direction that they need to go in, and I'm gonna give them that push, and so they become a part of the tribe.
Yeah.
It was the majority of the people when I was sat down and secure. I sat down with everybody. Each and every individual was in that building. The majority of them said, and I'm on my father's grave. The majority of the people said, Anton, the exact thing you just said.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you was an arrogant whatever. I hated you the first time that I seen you. But it was something in me that listened and kept listening because it actually was true at the end of the day. And so that's why I say F your feelings. I'm respecting the security boss's platform. That's why I say F your feelings, because I don't care what you think. The only thing that matters is the truth. Now, what you do with it afterwards is up to you. But we getting ours. Ours. It's so many people that's winning on my side.
It actually went farther than that, because remember the group that didn't even know anything about YouTube and was like, what's going on? What's going on? Who's this guy?
There is not a city that I go to that there is not people that tap in. We had people coming over from the Four Seasons across the street Like, yo, I need to come in and see who this Anton dude is. I'm a movement. I don't, you know what I'm saying? In real life, when I show up to a city, when I showed up in LA, when I show up in Atlanta, so on and so forth, I'm coming to DC this month. Your favorite rapper probably couldn't even shut that place down the way I did it. They turned the lights on because it was supposed to be over, and the bar kept serving late into the night because they said, "Yo, it's lit in here." And
It was
so, I don't worry about what everybody say. The only thing that I lean on is the people that I rock with, and my tribe is strong.
it was a very good atmosphere, and there was a lot of people inquiring, and they were signing up right then, subscribing to the channel. Anton was talking to them. They were, it was right there in front of me. I saw it. So,
Yep,
I
and
guess
I'm rocking with people.
you know what though? Maybe they need to meet you. Maybe the person that they see here, and it doesn't matter, like you said, but that may be some
Well,
person.
they can't do that because it'll be too infectious.
Right. You're right.
I've never met one person, not one person in real life that did not rock with me at the end of the day, at the end of the
Right.
night. Not one person. You can't. It's impossible for you to get in my presence and for you not to walk away feeling like not only can you take over the world, but that I'm the man. Not only was I'm the man that I presented myself to be, but I'm more the man than that. So, I don't worry about I just want them to keep tuning in.
Yeah. but black man, for that right there, you couldn't be around them and then hate them at the end of the night. You couldn't.
Absolutely.
You couldn't. So
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. I mean, he rock it out, man. I'll be in Houston, bro.
Yeah, guys. See, listen, a lot of people are asking me, if y'all can find somebody to run my business, I'm gonna be in Houston. That's my dilemma right now. But I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep cooking. Like, I don't stop. I mean, listen, they hated every great leader, from your favorite rapper all the way to your favorite righteous man. They killed Martin Luther King. They killed Nipsey. They killed Jesus. They killed. What you gonna do? Like,
those are not good
worry
examples.
about these people?
The examples are not very good. Those people are dead. But I'm with you.
Well, I'm saying that
I agree.
the people that they say they love, they killed them. The people that they say they hated, they killed them. Either way, you got something that you're supposed to do. If you're sitting here worried about what everybody else thinks and you keep modifying what it is that you do according to what the audience says, then you're not going to be any better than the preachers that we advocate against. And we saying that they just up there because they trying to get an amen instead of actually trying to help people and tell them the truth. Tell that to the person that I paid for their funeral, for their father's funeral. Tell that to the people that I pay their rent. That's in my tribe and in my Patreon. Tell that to the people whose businesses I invested in and I sent them wires and I never seen them a day in my life. Tell that to all of these people. Tell that to the 14 guys that I mentor from age 14 to 24. Tell that to them and these dudes that ultimately become successful. It's easy to speak from the sidelines, but you're not even in the gym shooting.
Ooh.
Come shoot a shot with me.
Yeah.
Come shoot a shot. Because you will never be able to stand toe to toe with a dude like me, ever. Not in your life. You can't beat me in any way, shape, or form. My marriage is better than yours. My money is bigger than yours. I've accomplished more in corporate America more than yours. I'm the only dude on YouTube that got his real LinkedIn up there. I'm the only dude that show my W-2s and my Patreon. At the end of the day, we're winning. You need to get on this team.
There you go.
Or you can keep playing in the pig pen with the pigs.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
And none of that means that they can't have it. They can have it too. You just got to get on the right side of it. That code thing keeps you back though.
Code about to get me in the throwback Anton. It's about to be 2021 July Anton. When I'm talking right now.
Uh-oh.
That guy.
Did you have any more questions back, man? Remember, guys, get your likes up, and also the link is in the chat if you want to come up and ask questions of myself or Anton or even Black Man right now. You can definitely cam up and ask your questions. Definitely. Listen, Shamnon says keep the hating on the sidelines. I agree with you, girl. Exactly. Definitely. What were you saying, Black Man? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
No, you good. So, Anton, what happened with the Porsche? Did you get it fixed?
No.
Oh man, I was driving in a parking structure going up, and somebody was backing out, and they was about to back out on top of me or back out into me. So I just swerved over and I just swiped a little fender, It's like a little yellow divider, and I swiped the little yellow divider. So it'll be in the shop for about a month, and then we'll get it out and we'll tear the summer down. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, man. Well, yeah,
Maybe
man.
I'll trade it in and get something bigger. Who knows?
So as a content creator, and I know it's a lot more out here that's probably watching right now, but as a content creator, how do you deal with the wildstorm? You know what I'm saying? Like everybody
What's the
hating on
wildstorm?
everybody hating on you, everybody making videos about you, everybody.
It's not everybody. It's just a select few.
I mean, a select few. That's what I mean. Yeah, a select few of people that are doing. I
continue to run the numbers up. The subscribers is up. The money is up. Everything is up. What? In 2021, I left that alone. I don't get into beefs. I don't get into he say, she says. I don't get into back and forths. I don't do any of that. I just continue to work, bro. You keep working. That's it. You keep working. You keep doing what you're doing, and you do more of it. What else is there to do?
Yeah.
I literally tune that stuff out. I block it all. I tune it out, and I keep grinding.
Exactly.
Why would I spend any energy talking to people that is not going in the direction that I'm going in? Why would I entertain it?
Exactly. I actually see that too. Yeah.
Q, you're going to have to cam up and ask that question. I'm not going to interrupt the conversation to tell you that. That's a story in itself. But I definitely appreciate that question. Q had a question about why did I become,
what was the question?
She said, why did I become a content creator? But I would love for her to come up so I can explain that to her. Because it's a funny story somewhat.
Sir Hale Speaks joined.
Oh, Sir Hale. Black man, do you have additional questions? Are you going to stay around for a minute? Or what you going to do?
My guy here.
Around,
now, bro. Yeah, I got to stick around because my guy here. And he got his Wesley Snipes sweater on today. You know what I'm saying?
What's going on, Sir Hale?
Hit the money line, son, so I can see the dance real quick. You know what I'm about?
He don't get nothing for, no.
What? Oh.
Anton, he worse than you with his money line song. Look.
Oh. Hey, Mr. Boss gonna hit it. Mr. Boss gonna hit it.
Yeah, let me see what you got. So here, let me see what you got. Come on.
Oh my God.
Awful. That was awful. Trust me.
Oh my God.
It's swag.
Oh,
It's
okay.
swag.
I saw Anton a few minutes ago. He started doing the preacher. You know when I had the preacher before they announced him to get up. Anton, he didn't catch himself.
He's trying to let it go. Yeah.
He was moving a little bit.
We're gonna have to work on Sir Hale. Sir Hale, what you got for us tonight? How you doing? First of all, I'm sorry.
Doing fantastic. Good to see you, Auntie Security Boss, Black Man and Filter, Anton. What's up? Good to see everybody tonight.
What's going on, Sir Hale, my guy? What's happening?
Yeah,
bro?
so there's a couple questions. So people often say, with Black men that, being a good father, being a good husband is rare. My question for you is it really as rare as people make it seem? Or do you see this as normal?
It's not rare at all. I don't think it's even. I think that the loudest people in the room are just, the ones that had the bad experiences. I look at it like a restaurant review, right? Unless you telling people, hey, did you have a positive experience? Can you please leave a review? Most people don't look to leave a review unless they have a bad experience. You just go in, you eat your food, you have a good time. It's the food as good as whatever. People don't go and they don't intentionally run out to Yelp or Google or whatever and say, I'm about to leave a good review unless you ask them to. So most of the bad reviews are going to come from people that had a bad experience and they don't feel like they have any other I'm about to go over here. And so the loudest people in the room is always going to be the people that have bad experiences. But one of the things that I'm experiencing is a lot of good, dope, awesome, married, great fathers, men, and they'll reach out to me. They say, yo, fam, listen, I'm glad you said it because I'm chilling. I don't get to see it. Or I'm glad you said it because, my girlfriend Q. I'm glad you said it, Anton, because, I don't want to cause no ruckus because I got to keep my job and I got a high position or whatever. And so they just stay in the background and they chill and they support and they rock with me or whatever. But there's a lot, and I mean a lot of guys that are doing the right thing. They supporting their kids. They, are great husbands. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of dudes that's winning. It's just that the majority of the people that aren't are the loudest ones in the room.
Which leads me to my second question. Do you think so? So we're all people of faith, just to some degree, however we want to say this. Do you think that we're too quiet? Like, I'll tell you, when I first saw you, I'm sitting here like, Anton, who is this dude, man? Always talking about how good his life is, how good his wife is, how good his children is, how good his, like, who is this dude? But what it showed me is why aren't we speaking louder about how blessed we are? Like what's wrong with that? So do you think we're too quiet about that?
They keep telling us stupid stuff. Wealth whispers. No, it doesn't. It's very, very loud. You're just not in the room to hear it. Okay, buddy. You know, we celebrate the loudness of the wrong people, right? They give you all of the wrong stuff. The scammers, they get all of their albums sold out, all of this other type of stuff. But then when I celebrate the fact that I did it the right way, I ain't never did nothing illegal, so on and so forth, then I'm the bad guy because, Anton, you need to be a little bit more humble. No, you need to be a little bit louder about the fact that there is some of the greatest people in the Bible was the most loved was rich. But we throw those stories out of the way and we don't want to have no conversation about that. And they say, well, Jesus, he walked on a donkey. Well, Job was richer than everything. And then he got richer once he went past his test. And Solomon was rich and David was rich. And it's a lot of legends in the Bible that was winning, and you can have it all. You can be rich and you can have righteousness and you can have a good marriage and you can be a nice person and you can rock with people of good character and you can do all of the good stuff that go along with it. But again, we too quiet because for some reason we so afraid of criticism. But I'll just tell you, when you start beating up on demons, they shut the piss up.
Woo!
Hey, love that. Hey, love that.
Loud. It's time to be loud. Genesis, it's time to be loud. Q, it's time to be loud.
Hey.
I got one more question for you. One more question. Genesis, what's going on with you? Island Girl Q, what's going on with you? Good to see y'all. So just one more question for you. So you got married when you were young. So I got married when I was 19. So very similar deal. Married going on 15 years.
See, security bosses, a lot of us that's out here.
I agree. Yeah. I say the same thing. I don't know why.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just using it as an example to illustrate the conversation that we was having.
We coming out.
So here's my question. So we often say, you hear the general ideals that men should get married about 27, 28, women, so on and so forth. Do you think that it's necessarily about being later in our 20s, or it's a maturity level? I advocate getting married early, if possible, if the maturity is there. Yeah. So, what's your perspective on that?
You said, so what is the timeline?
Yeah, so part of me is like 26, 27, but I was 19 when I did it. And I'm married to my best friend. That's my girl. Like we're going on 15 years. She was 21, I was 19. She got me when I was young. But we've been married for a long time now. What's your perspective on this? Married younger, or should we wait till we're later in our 20s, particularly for guys?
I think you should marry younger. I think you should get married as soon as you want to start opening your legs to have sex.
Yep.
The minute that you feel like because he gonna tell you he love you when he inside of you, and then he gonna leave and you're gonna be looking like a wet noodle on the side of the bed. So I think that the minute that you feel like you're mature enough to open your legs, I think that should be the time that you should commit yourself for the rest of your life to somebody. And if you don't, then keep your legs shut. I think that marriage is beautiful. I think that the most successful people in the world are married, overwhelmingly.
Facts.
Even millennials that have the most money overwhelmingly are married. You can literally Google it. So, I think that marriage is a good thing, and I think that it should be advocated for. The problem is that we're not teaching people how to be successfully married, and so it turns people off.
Yeah.
If you teach people how to be successfully married, because it's a difference between being married and being successfully married. Being married, you can be a ship in the night. It's a lot of people that's walking around in sexless marriages, and they just put numbers on the board as far as, we've been married for this long, but that don't necessarily mean anything. How long have you been married successfully?
Absolutely.
And I think that that's the caveat. If you can show people the beauty of it, me and Rita, we rock out. And listen, I'm gonna just be real. Like, my sex life is crazy. It's insane. Real talk. I can't get enough. Listen, I'm not in the gym today because I'm trying to lose weight. I'm in the gym because I got to get them squats done because there's some positions that I have to accommodate for. You know what I'm saying? I got to make sure that I get my game up.
You gotta do what you,
know,
gotta
so
do. I feel
it's
you.
a great thing. It's fun. It's awesome.
Dearly beloved.
But speaking of which, let me go ahead and wife real quick. Anton, appreciate your auntie, security boss. Appreciate. I'm
Thank you,
sorry.
my friend.
I said handle wife real quick. Oh,
Yeah, I gotta go, y'all. I'm
I'm
back
just
in the hour.
telling
See y'all
you.
later. Y'all
All
have a
right.
good one.
Rita walked in here and she gave me another drink of water, and I said, "Make sure you stay to the left because you got some crazy lingerie on." Okay, lingerie is
wow, angle
insane.
lens on that camera. So Miss
Yeah,
Island and Miss Genesis,
lingerie
how are
is
you?
Hi, good
insane.
evening. Good evening.
Oh,
I know you wanted me to. Yeah, I didn't need to cam up security boss for you to
you
answer my
look
question.
beautiful. Why you don't want to cam up? I like the wild look. It works for you.
I was in the bed just
Q don't
chilling.
never want to cam up. She wanna
Drinking
act.
Be all over the camera and don't want a camera. So listen, to answer your question really quick, since you didn't want to cam up. It actually started out as a professional channel with my business, my security company. And it was just going to be a TV show.
Book of
Is
Genesis.
what it started
joined.
out, because I used to have so many different people coming into the office that was just impressive. I was like, we need to be videotaping this. This is just, people would not believe the things that they're doing when they're coming in here for an interview. But every time I had an interview, it ended up being something different. And always with men. Men would come in, they would tell me their life story within 15 minutes. I would hear everything about them, and they would always just talk and tell me everything. And it was like, you know, when they got ready to go, they'd be like, thank you so much. And, you know, I realized that I was doing something different than interviewing. So I went on to lead attorney. Shout out to lead attorney. And he was like, you know what? You can't mix things that you do. So that's when we got into unsolicited. And that was about 5 months ago.
Oh wow.
So only about 5 months ago. So I took off with unsolicited, and I just now speak to men. I advocate for men, and I also speak on marriage because those are the things I know. And that's how I kind of came with security boss, unsolicited. So
Okay, last question. Okay, so what negatives and positives have you seen when you became a content creator as a woman? Do you feel?
well, listen, my husband plays
Ooh,
a
good luck with that one.
my husband plays a huge part in my content in this whole journey for me. He does everything. All I do is I get here and God gives me the wisdom, and I just translate it through to you all through my life, and it never alters. So everything that I do, I kind of just bring it to you. So it's more like a non-thought process. You know, I really just sit here and talk to you all. I don't have to worry about giving any kind of feedback, any chats or anything. It's done for me. He does all of it. I just have to create and just tell you what my thoughts are today and how I feel about certain things. And it's always about something I've experienced or something I've done or somewhat of that nature that I could expound on. It's never gone any further than that. So everything you hear from me is me, and it's always genuine. So I would say it's kind of easy.
Okay, but teamwork makes the dream work. See,
It does for me. It does for me. So
that's all I have to say. Thank you so much. Thank you guys.
What up, Q?
thank you.
See
Thank
y'all
you.
tomorrow. But I disagree on you, Anton. I think you definitely need a woman, Rita, because if you was out here and you see how these women are, if you had a different woman in your life,
Joined.
you wouldn't have been on the same path as you are now, right?
Not
Of
true.
course, women, we need men. But of course, I feel like your life would have been different because Rita
Nope.
brings something to your table. You also said on your panel, Rita helps you in many ways, right?
She does.
Business-wise, family-wise, and everything. Imagine if you didn't have that. Imagine if you had a
But it's
lazy
based
woman.
off of how I groomed her.
Correct. You molded her, but not every woman is moldable. Imagine if you didn't have
I
that.
believe that I can honestly, and Rita is the dopest woman in the world. Don't get me wrong, right? I don't want to take any credit from her whatsoever. That is my baby girl. But let me tell you, and I've said this before, I can take this bottle and I can walk outside and I can throw it in a group and hit a woman and turn that chick's life around and make her what she need to be.
So are you saying that every woman is moldable?
I agree with that.
I think that there's anomalies. Like there's always gonna be extremes, right? But outside of the extremes, yes.
Okay.
But Q, that's what we're supposed to do, though. Women are supposed to adapt. But Anton don't think that Adam needed Eve, so That might be a bad argument.
Eugene
To
Yo,
And
if
maybe put in the group.
if for whatever reason I was single today, because I think that the myth is that you need that I would have to have a woman. See, if I was single today, I wouldn't be dating. I wouldn't be having sex at all. I'm that disciplined. I'm that focused. I would be 100% dedicated to whatever it is that I'm into, and it wouldn't have any relevance to a woman whatsoever. I don't need a woman to thrive, but I'm definitely going to take advantage of the fact that I have one in order to, utilize it.
Mhm.
I
No,
don't need an assistant, but does it make my life much easier? Absolutely.
I get that part. I feel like women contribute to different relationships in a different way, different aspect. And I get that you molded Rita, maybe because I've met Rita in person. And as I said, I wouldn't see a lot of all women being moldable, right? I don't think you can go out there and mold everyone to be Rita because Rita is unique. Rita is her own person, just like
She is,
security
but
guard is
guess
her
what?
own person.
Guess what?
You can't duplicate
Guess
that.
what, Q? But guess what? Rita could have very much been just like all the rest of these women out here that you were saying that's not moldable
You're
if
right.
she'd have had ran into the wrong dude before me.
You're definitely right. You're definitely right. Because
Because
the
let
more
me tell you something that Rita used to say. When I met Rita, she was like, "Oh, I know I'm never getting married. I'm not even interested. It ain't even no thing. Like it's not." I changed that. She had already made up in her mind that she was going to be single for the rest of her life.
why
And she
why
was never going, like, she never even was going to try until she met me. That's just real life. She never had any ambition whatsoever on being married or following or supporting people and all of this other type of stuff. She was just going to just live her life, and then whatever happened. And that was just going to be the end of it. And then she met me and everything changed. That's the honest to God truth.
Yeah.
Not only that, her mother was like, "Who are you?" Like, she was fighting me. Like, "Who are you?" And you are evolving and changing, and I don't know who the piss you are no more. And then her mother had to get on board afterwards because she was like, "Oh, okay, I see what we doing now. We on Anton's program. Cool." And that was it. I changed her mother. That's how powerful a man can be in a woman's life.
Absolutely. That's true. All right, guys, y'all, let's get them likes up.
Bye, you guys. Have a
So
good night.
much, Alan
Thank
Q.
you.
Miss Genesis, how are you? And Mr. Steele, how are you?
Doing
I'm
fine.
great. How are you?
Doing good. Genesis, you have a question?
Listen, I just wanted to say I didn't know which way to go listen to this show tonight. I didn't know whether to like him or to hate him. I I was listening. I was like, did he just say that?
I
Did he
told
really
you,
say
security boss,
that?
that's what I do. I polarize people.
But I love his confidence. I love the confidence with which he speaks. Like you definitely brave for saying what you saying. Oh, and for everybody to hear when he was talking about the wife and what she wouldn't have been if she hadn't gotten with him. I was like, okay, let me go and sit down somewhere.
I mean, it's the truth. I mean,
I was ready to throw the phone.
why though? Why?
Well, I don't know. I got pushback on the fact that you say that she wouldn't have been anything. And I do understand that a woman or a certain woman is made for a certain man. But if just say,
All women
God
are
gives
made
us
for a
free
certain
will,
man.
God gives us free will. So just say that you weren't where you were supposed to be doing what you were
It's not
supposed to
true.
be doing, and
It's not
God
true.
God gave her to somebody else because where you weren't where you were supposed to be.
What
Then
makes you think that you got free will? Where did you read that at? Who told you that?
we have choices. We are called to do one thing.
You
However,
sure?
we don't always do that.
You sure?
We're called not to sin, but we do, right?
Okay,
That's our
so
free will. We're exercising our
what was
free
the
will.
purpose? Let me ask you a question. What was the purpose in the Bible of Moses and Aaron going to free the children of Israel? And then when he would run up against Pharaoh, and then Pharaoh would actually, if you read the story, he actually kept trying to free them, and God hardened his heart. He wouldn't let him. He forced him to continue to keep the children of Israel captive and then continue to perform all of the different miracles and the things that was going on. What was the point of that?
Actually, I can't
Why did
speak
he
to that
harden his
because
heart?
I'm not familiar with that story in the Bible.
You should check it out.
I'm not the Bible scholar.
I have a
I
theory.
read, but I pick and choose.
I have a theory.
Okay.
Right?
Tell me your theory.
My theory is this. Because there's parts in the Bible where it say that we were chosen to be here before the formation of the earth. Right? We were going to be here. That's a fact. That's what it says in the word. If that be true, then how much free will did we really have if all of the factors had to play out the way that they played out in order for me and you to be having this conversation right now? How much free will do we really have if God himself said we were meant to be here? Meaning that it didn't matter what you thought. It didn't matter what you think your father, who he was supposed to meet your mama and all of this other type of stuff. If we truly believe that, and I'm not saying that everybody believed the world, but if you believe, because you said specifically that God gives us free will, but if we were already meant to be here before the formation of the earth, me and you are meant to be here right now on March 2nd, Wednesday, 2022, and having this conversation. How much free will is it really?
She didn't know it, but he did. It was already ordained. She didn't know it.
So did you really have a choice if the path was already laid out exactly what it is that you was going to do?
Well, I think you can alter your destiny. I think you can.
How? You're predestined. You can't control it.
Well,
Let me tell you what I think. Let me tell you my theory. And I use that to set this up. I think it's the perception of choice that allows for you to be human. It allows you to feel like you're in control, which ultimately gives you the excitement, the joy, the ups, the downs, the feelings, whatever, so on and so forth. I think it's a perception of choice, but I really think it's truly fate, which allows me to be so matter of fact in what I say, and I don't worry about what people do and all of this other type of stuff, because I know that this is what I believe. I believe that what I'm going to do is exactly what was predestined for me to do anyway. So why should I have any kind of reservation about what anybody think when this is exactly what's going to happen? I think it's a perception of choice. I don't believe it's really choice.
But is that because you're enlightened enough? So say somebody who isn't enlightened enough to think that way, and they go off and do something else. They're not going along the path that God has for them. You don't.
How do we know what the path is that God has for us?
Yeah, because he's saying ultimately that was the path.
Yeah.
Pharaoh was put here specifically to hold the children of Israel so that God could perform these miracles. That's his whole life story. That's his legacy. And he didn't have a choice. So what does that mean?
I got nothing right now.
I
I got nothing right now. I can't argue the Bible.
All I'm saying is, listen, a lot of people get thrown off by the things that I say, but just sit on it for a minute and then tell me what it is that you think afterwards.
I am. I'm gonna come back to that. I'm gonna revisit that one day. I don't know which day, but I am.
But you know what? You also have to have a thought process that most things are spiritual, or all things are spiritual. Right. It all depends. Not everybody can believe that, though. That takes a certain measure of faith to believe that many people don't operate in. Yeah. Isaiah, thank you so much for your subscription, for subscribing to the channel. So it's a dual situation. That's a lot. But if you can get it, if you can get that, you will be better off, because it all makes sense then. You know, if you can get it makes
different.
Yeah, if you can get it, it makes sense. All right, Genesis, you gonna think about it for a minute and come back?
I'm gonna think about that and I'm gonna come back.
So are you still the TV? Has he won you over yet? You still throwing something at him?
The verdict ain't in on that one yet.
It ain't in.
I gotta listen a little bit more.
He's a good guy. I'm telling you, he really is.
I think
All right.
so. I think so.
Thank you so much, Genesis. We'll
All
see you
right,
soon.
see y'all.
All right. Bye.
See you, babe.
Mr. Steele, how are you, sir?
I'm doing fine, and you?
Doing well. I got a question for you.
Yes.
How in the world did you get all the words to my money line song? How did you do that?
Well, I actually looked at I looked for the lyrics to it, and I keep hearing money line, and then I found the lyrics to it, to the chorus, and I'm like, this is interesting, because I remember somebody, it was the same person who kept um getting super chats, and
Yeah.
some yeah
TR Baby continued to do that
yeah
night. Yeah.
TR Baby, and I keep hearing that song over and over again. So, and I've seen TR Baby on another channel, so I was thinking,
You know what? I was so impressed by the fact that you knew all the words. I was like, how did he do this?
yeah.
So yeah, it's infectious.
Yeah. So when TR Baby was on another channel, right? Every time, he does it, I was gonna put the words up.
You done took the song to somebody else's. Okay. Well, listen, I love it. It does what it's supposed to do, and I appreciate you for doing that. So listen, do you have a question for Anton tonight?
Yes, I do. Anton, as you know, I listen to a lot of content creators, and out of all the content creators, I think you're only one of 4 Black men content creators that I listen to. And, I think about this question. What is your take on the manosphere?
I don't know. I think that, well, it depends, because it's a lot of different portions of it. You know what I'm saying? What segment of it are you specifically talking about?
Well, to be honest with you,
Because there's a lot of people that classify themselves as being a part of the manosphere. I'll tell you this, I don't believe that I am. I mean, I think that people gonna group you however they gonna group you, but I think I'm completely different from every single person that's in it. The things that I talk about, the things that I represent, how it is that I align myself, how I champion marriage, all of that other type of stuff. I don't know how you define it. I think that somebody else would have to define it. Maybe O'Shea Duke Jackson could probably define of what the manosphere is, but I'm not sure if I'm really in it. I just know that, maybe we have some of the similar overlapping audiences, but I'm not sure that that's what I mean, Anthony O'Neill, for example, he's a YouTuber that does finances. He was aligned with Dave Ramsey or whatever. Would he be a part of the manosphere? Me and him talk about similar things, except for he's single, I'm married. We talk about money, so on and so forth. What's the difference?
Yeah, and and just like you, I'm not for sure how much of a part of it I am either. I remember I was on one channel, and the moderator of the channel asked the panel, "What has the manosphere taught you?" And I find it funny that most of the men, well, should I say, most of them, what they say the other men learn from the manosphere, I actually learned from Black women content creators. So, which is very interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
You said you learned it from Black women content creators?
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so it made me wonder. And then I saw another channel which talks about old versus new, which again, I'm not fully understanding what really the manosphere really is.
Wow.
I don't know how you define it. I don't know if you say what it is. I don't know. Maybe it's just a group of men, maybe Black men, that have similar ideals. I don't know how you define it, to be honest with you. I wouldn't even try, because again, I'm not sure that I fit into any of those boxes. I'm just a dude. I'm my own island. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Just to keep
move
it
the way that I move.
just to keep it general, I think I've heard only that it's just being pro male, advocating for men, make sure men are taking care of themselves and on their purpose, just to make it general. That's pretty much what I've heard about it. But, and Anton does do that, but I don't think he's doing it as a group. That's just how he lives his life. So,
Yeah, I mean, for me is I just pick listen, I don't pick women content creators based off of if they align with I'll honestly, the thing that I advocate for is having conversations with people that may